I'm live, babe. Go ahead.
Uh, Hello, everyone. Welcome to another episode of Tim and Hasina's Love Is. Today, we're going to be just chit-chatting and going back and forth about a few topics. We're going to try to touch base on the famous Montgomery, Alabama brawl. We're going to talk about the Jason Aldean song, what it means to the Black community, and we're going to talk a little bit maybe about schools in Florida, how they're trying to change the curriculum. We're going to talk about I don't know if everybody's read this, I'm sure you have, but it's a 12-year-old boy that was just taking out his trash. And his dad had him go take out the trash, and dad come out the house and he's in handcuffs. The police arrested him, said he fit the profile, as so many of them do. But I'm here with my beautiful wife, Hasina.
Yep.
Yes, yes.
I gotta warm him up. He needs to be warmed up today because he's in one of them moods like sports. Anywho,
But we'll
let's
start out. We'll start out with the song,
yes,
with the Jason
yes, please.
Aldean song, because
Yep.
you really didn't know too much about the song. You just listened to the song and you said you kind of figured didn't hear nothing. And then when I went to explaining to you certain details and certain things about the song, you kind of the light bulb kind of went off in your head. So for those that don't know, Jason Aldean came out with a song, Don't Try That in a Small Town. Talk
Try that in a small town.
Try that in a small town. Correct. And the video basically shows, people in riot gear. I mean, the police in riot gear stopping black people from trying to protest this and that. And the main setting of the video is at a courthouse in Columbia, Tennessee. For the ones that don't know, excuse me, guys. For the ones that don't know about that particular setting, the Mary County Courthouse is known for lynching black folks. People from all around the city, the state of Tennessee, would be brought to the Columbia Mary County Courthouse to be beaten, to be stoned, and to be hung. So I found I felt it very, very awkward and weird that he would choose that particular setting for that particular song at that particular time. You have to be from Columbia or be from the surrounding areas to really get it. But I'm glad a lot of folks got it. I'm glad about the uproar. But yeah, he's pretty much, in my opinion, he's mocking black people. And from my time that I was in a small towns are very, very crooked. The people in the high positions are very, 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 very crooked. I've had charges thrown on me for nothing. And there was nothing that I could do about it because I didn't have the money to buy me an attorney. And so that's one way of them holding you back or keeping you down. But some of the words in that song is true because they really do feel that way. It's not nothing that he made up. It's not nothing that he's trying to come up with.
Mm.
It's real life. I mean, it's real life. They are crooked. They are corrupt.
So let's say this, babe. Where are you from?
I'm from Columbia, Tennessee.
So he really knows what's up. Hey, where you grew up or where you went to school, what came out of that city or a small town?
Well, I actually moved from Columbia when I was in middle school, and I went 29 miles away, not much of a difference, to Pulaski, Tennessee. And Pulaski and Columbia was pretty much the same. The only difference was I had my family that I grew up with in Columbia, so that's strength in numbers. But when I moved to Pulaski, it wasn't a bad experience because I guess because of my age, I was still a minor. But I do know that it was a lot of racism there. I do know that the Ku Klux Klan marched every Martin Luther King Jr. holiday, or it was a birthday back then. It wasn't a holiday then. It was a birthday. But then they're still marching until this day.
Hmm.
But yeah, it was so much racism, so many white girl fathers would threaten us or wouldn't allow us to even speak to their daughters, their sons. Um, yeah, it's real.
And Pulaski is the home of or where KKK started.
It's where it originated from.
Right.
Absolutely.
Look it up, Google, that. I know people say it started in other states, but it started right there. I looked
Absolutely.
it up when he told me that's where he's from. I don't think we have anything else to say about it. I'm happy it's off the air. I'm happy it's not going up on the Billboard charts. Let them do that in their house, in their small town, and I won't be visiting that area. I know some people know about that green book that Black people had to travel with. I feel like we still have to travel with the green book. We got to know where we're going because we don't want to get caught up. I have a friend from Facebook. He went to, I guess, yeah, Alabama, Mississippi, where Emmett Till died. And I guess they have some type of historical landform right there, just a sign saying this is where Emmett Till laid to rest, blah, blah, blah. And you see gunshots in it.
Mm.
Try it in a small town. Well, come to the hood, right? All right. So going
But
on to
let me say this real quick though, because we're quick to complain about the ones that's in authority treating us a certain way, when all we have to do is collectively come together as a people and vote. Vote. Don't just vote for a president. Vote for your local government. That's more important than voting for a president. So don't just be the type of people to just talk about things. You have to put some action into it. God said, faith without works is dead. You can't believe and hope for something to change. You got to get out there and be the change.
That kind of goes into the small town to another small town, or it's not a small town, it's a bigger city, but in Alabama.
But don't you know Tennessee and Alabama, they're borders, they're states that border each other?
I know, but I don't know because I'm not from the South, but he knows.
Yeah.
So, he knows that what Tennessee is known for being the border state, correct? Of many states, where I'm all the way up in Massachusetts, where we're very liberal, very, very liberal. So going into one situation of a small town to maybe a bigger city, but the same level of racism. Montgomery, Alabama. Did I say it right?
Yeah, Montgomery, Alabama.
Okay, I know he don't have to say it with a different accent.
Of course, you know from the Martin Luther King days that Montgomery, Alabama has always been a center focus for segregation and mistreatment of Black people. You know that, right?
Oh yeah, I know that part. But let's talk about what happened on that river.
Talking about the disaster that happened.
It's not funny. We don't
No.
condone any kind of physical, but it happened. And it was for all of us to see.
Exactly.
And those memes. What was your favorite meme, babe?
So many of them. So many of them. I can't think right now. Some of them I'd rather not even speak about it in a way because it's too outrageous.
Well, I don't know. Something about that hat going up in the air, the one that they did with the hat going up
Oh
in the air.
yeah, that was a good one. The Batman call. He threw his hand up like he was Batman, calling everybody.
Why? Because man, hey, we came through. And I think we need to start doing that a little bit more. Not to harp on the violence that happened, not to say it was fully okay, but we're tired. And we're actually, yeah, see now I got a southern accent. hard. We're tired of those things happening. And for once, I seen that we stood up for each other.
Right. Yeah.
We fully stood up for each other. And the people that started it did go to jail. Yes, somebody else with the chair, and the chair thing was crazy.
Mhm.
But he went to jail because of the physical using a weapon. But I feel like as a culture, when we start sticking up for each other and doing different, the same thing that happens, and I'm not saying all situations merit somebody putting their hands on each other, but what I've been seeing, I'm thinking of that other thing that was on the news with the mother and the son, where a black man like hit the woman. I don't know what the woman said. I don't know exactly what happened, but the woman told the son to go and get
The
her
gun.
gun,
Yeah.
and he shot him and killed him. Not to say that's okay, but when we get to have a culture where we say we don't disrespect each other, we look at each other as kings and queens as we really are. We respect mother, father, son, daughter, aunties, uncles, grandmas.
Exactly. That's what I was gonna say. No man, no matter what the circumstance is, no matter what the situation is, should never put his hands on a woman. Never put his hands on a woman. I always believe a real man don't touch women. You know, if you hit a woman, you're not a real man in my category, in my book. Women are precious, man. And just think about it if that was your mother or your sister and somebody else was putting their hands on. How would that make you feel?
Mhm. Been there, done that. I know too much and too well about clientele and personally that no, it's not okay. And it doesn't matter what a person says for you to put your hands on another person, especially a woman. So when we have a culture where when you see that instead of videotaping it, but you actually jump into action and be like, yo, you can't do that. It makes me think about my travels to Ghana, where their culture is they leave their goods on the sidewalk, on the grass, on the sidewalk, and nobody touches it. That's their culture. We need to get back to the basics and do those same things here where you always respect me. I never had any challenges when I went over there. I thought the dudes would be the usual thing that they do. Oh, hey, girl, what's up? Da, da, da. No,
But
none
that
of
goes
that.
back to our podcast, what we're trying to do. As love is. If you truly love your neighbor, you're not gonna steal from your neighbor. You're not gonna mess with your neighbor's wife. You're not gonna go in his backyard and defecate in it. All that good stuff.
We saw another crazy video today too. Oh my God. After watching what's his name? The comedian.
Kevin Hart.
Kevin Hart. That thing he talked about, but
These two women, they was getting into a fight at the store, not a physical fight. The lady was behind the glass, so the other lady couldn't get to her. So the other lady got so angry that she dropped her pants right then and there, took her a good and threw it at her.
a number two.
Took a number two in the store with customers in there
And picked it up and threw it at the cashier.
and threw it at the cashier.
Respect, people. Respect. It's not that serious.
The woman didn't have melanated skin, but still, a woman is a person is a person. People don't do that.
So we're moving. It's not
That's nasty.
let's see the accent is coming.
Ugh.
The schools.
Hold on.
Uh-oh.
Let me say this about the Montgomery brawl. The thing between this brawl and a mass shooting was nobody got killed. They was able to take their butt whooping like a man and still live. Because I feel like everybody makes mistakes, but it's only certain things that's worth dying for. And you know, and by you jumping in on somebody and jumping somebody, it's still not worth, you losing your life. It can be, very well could have been. But that just reminds me when I was coming up, we didn't do all that shooting and everything. We fought. We fought and was friends the next day.
Mm-hmm.
And matter of fact, we was good friends after that because you knew who was on your team. You knew what they was capable of too. And they wasn't a coward. cowards shoot people and run and hide, but that's another subject. So
So
I
let's
just wanted to say that.
tip on the coward, the other cowards that we have in our state. The Commissioner of Education. I don't even, well, I'm gonna say his name so we know. The people that don't know when they hear the name. Manny Diaz, and then our governor, Ron DeSantis.
Ron DeSantis.
So those cowards thought it was a good idea. And the people around them said, I think we should say that in Florida schools that Black history actually helped the slaves. And that's what we're going to put in our curriculum for now on.
That's what they have to teach. They have to teach that slavery benefited Black people. It taught us skills. It gave us knowledge. Who built the pyramid?
We did.
Right. Who made the folding chair? We did.
All right, Alabama.
But we did.
Yeah, we did. We did a lot of things. The street signs or the street lights. We did a lot of things. We did a lot of things. We played a part in the cell phone. We played a part in lights. We played a part in refrigerators. We did so much. And this goes back to the education. It's laughable to me. And I know everybody doesn't have the household that my son grows in where I teach him. He has the flashcards. He has papers on the wall with Black history. He has books on his shelf with Black history. And I tell him the stories that I know and break down situations and systems so he understands when he gets of a certain age, so he can be aware, have that peripheral that you need as I hate to say it, a child of color, a Black child, whatever you want to call it, a person that might not be looked at the way they should be looked at just as the character that they have. They are going to be looked at, oh, he's brown. Oh, he's dressed like that. He's dressed like that. So I try to make sure he understands that. So to me, this thing is laughable, but not everybody has the household that my son has. So some children do need to hear this. So they had a town hall.
But yeah, they had a town hall.
And Manny Diaz said he was coming to our Dolan place, the place that
Manny
we go
Diaz is the commissioner. He's the education commissioner. He's the one next under Governor DeSantis. So let's talk about how important he is.
Right. And last minute he said he wasn't going to come. Mind you, newscasts from Tampa, from CNN, from everywhere was there to hear us have this town hall discussion. He didn't show. But boy, we still showed up and showed out and said what we needed to say. And hopefully we go back with some action tips. The takeaway that I took from that more than anything is we need to have our children in these spaces. These spaces are not just for us, because at the end of the day, I don't know, hopefully I get another 40, 50 years out of this body of mine. But our children is the people that's going to be pulling up after us. So knowing that they need to be in the space. When I think about, and I know people are gonna like, for real, but when I was about 14, my mom took me to the mosque on State Street. I'm from Massachusetts, Springfield, Massachusetts, home of Basketball Hall of Fame. I went to the mosque and I saw Dick Gregory for the first time. And being in that space changed my mind of how I looked at certain things. So you have to have the children in those spaces for them to see it for their self. Because sometimes when we tell them, they don't hear us, and we all know that they don't hear us. But when they see it themselves, when they can experience it themselves, it's a different feeling. So that was what I felt was missing, because at the end of the day, that's what they talk about. Well, what can we do for the young kids to make the young kids understand? Have the young kids be there. My son understands.
That's true.
Babe,
Absolutely. That's
you got
absolutely
anything with
true.
that one before we go to the person that could have been my son?
Go ahead.
All right, so in Lansing, Michigan, I'm going to guesstimate it was a okay neighborhood, but the police was in this neighborhood, saw a child that had just took the trash out, as my husband already said, and he was in handcuffs, 12 years old. Now, that father came out roaring. He was ready. Once you hear those cuss words, those patois Jamaican cuss words, you know it's going down.
But what got me was the simple fact that The father had went out there and the son was in handcuffs and he was telling the police that that's my son. He's only 12. He only was coming to take the trash out. They didn't stop and talk to that man. They put that little boy in back of the police car and slammed the door and act like they ain't even hear that man. That wasn't right.
It wasn't right. I mean, I know we're not supposed to walk around here scared. We're supposed to be prideful. We're supposed to be this. We're supposed to be that. But our boys are out here on the street. And I don't mean out. My son takes, I live in a condo, so he takes the trash sometimes to the dumpster. Do I got to worry about the police coming and stopping him and saying, you look like somebody that we were looking
But how
for?
many 12-year-olds that look like 10-year-olds look like a person of interest, look like the suspect that you're supposed? It's not that many 12-year-olds out here committing crimes. Yeah, I'm sure we got a few, but it's not
Right.
that. It's not like that.
Yep. It's something that happened in England. I guess they're doing the thing with AI and they're doing face recognition, which they're doing it everywhere. And this child, I think he was also around 13 to 15. He got stopped and they thought he was a person of interest. And if certain people, black, white, whoever, didn't come to his side, he would have been going to jail too. So something has to change. But I keep on saying this community of love it's what's going to make it change. We have to keep on communicating,
That's right.
keep on talking about it.
That's
It's
right.
not about hate, it's not about prejudice or racism
No.
on this end. No, I can't say that because we love all.
That's right.
But this is happening to our children.
We're just trying to be solution focused. We're not trying to talk about it. We're
Right.
trying to be about it.
Right.
And if we all come together, we can do it. We can unite. We
definitely
really can unite. We can do something that's never been done in the history of this world.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Martin Luther King said, "Well, little white boys, little black boys can get together and actually sit at the table together."
And we are not a minority. I don't know why people even still say that word. We are not. When you add all of us together in this world, we are not the minority. So don't let anybody use that head job. Remember, my background is mental health. Don't let them use your head to think that you're something less than what you really are.
And if we as a black people know who we really are as a people, we wouldn't go around killing each other. We wouldn't go around killing your brother and sister selling drugs. We would not do that. We are kings. We are sons of kings. We are in a royal priesthood.
So let me say something about that. And I know we had this conversation many a times. The hood, being ghetto, that's two different things. The rat, the snitch, that's two different things. But what I always say, and again, he has his background of coming from the South, and I have my background of coming from the North. It's a small city where I'm from, but we had the hood right there too. So let's use this as a lab versus people. If you put rats in a lab with a little bit of resources, and let's use the example of food, the rats will eat each other to get that food. It will beat up that person to get that food. We need to have resources. And we have the resources because they say that we spend like $3 trillion in the US. So we have the resources, but what are we spending it on? We're spending on J's, we're spending on alcohol, we're spending it on weed and
Rims,
drugs.
cars.
Nah, nah. We got to get back to the basics.
Nothing that makes more money.
Nothing.
Nothing that makes more money.
Nothing that brings us together.
Nothing that pays for your kids' college.
Nothing that helps your grandkids and your great grandkids out. That leaves a real legacy. That's what we need to do.
Gotta come together.
Yeah. So
Time out for playing. We gotta come together.
that's true.
Buy a hospital. We can buy banks. We can do whatever we put our mind to.
Yep. Instead of the petty showing off for the other ones that don't give two whatever's about you.
It takes a village.
It takes a village. That's
It
right.
takes a village.
Get back to the basics.
Well, folks, you heard it here.
That's it.
You heard it here.
All right.
Y'all have a good one. Like, subscribe,
Like, subscribe,
and share. Got it.
and share because this is a movement. We're doing this for a bigger purpose, not just for us, but just so you can see something different. Something different, set it
Some
up.
authentic, some real.
Crazy, ghetto, dramatic, whatever. All right, later.
No booty shaking here.
Love y'all. Yeah, there this man goes again. I ain't even turn off the thing. Bye.